May 8th was supposed to be the happiest day of Anna Westbrook's life. She woke up early in the morning at her family home, where everything was ready for the wedding ceremony. The garden was decorated with white roses and garlands, and a white arch was set up under an old oak tree for the ceremony. Anna was sitting in front of the mirror in her bridal room, watching the makeup artist apply the final touches of makeup. Her dark hair was pulled back into an elegant bun, and a necklace sparkled around her neck, a family heirloom that her grandmother had given her as a gift for her engagement. "God, I'm so nervous," Anna whispered as she looked at her reflection. "It's only natural, dear," her mother, Elizabeth, replied, straightening the creases in her gorgeous white dress. "I was nervous on my wedding day, too, but when I saw your father at the altar, all my worries disappeared." Anna smiled weakly. She remembered meeting John at a charity event 3 years ago. He had immediately caught her attention with his charisma and sincerity. At least she thought so at the time. There was a knock at the door, and Kate, Anna's best friend since university, entered the room. She was wearing an elegant blue bridesmaid's dress and holding a bouquet of white lilies. "You look incredible," Kate said enthusiastically, adjusting her veil. "John is going to be speechless when he sees you." "Thank you," Anna replied, trying to calm the trembling in her hands. "I'm really nervous. Do you mind if I go outside for a minute to get some fresh air?" "Of course, dear," Kate nodded. "But don't be long. The ceremony is only half an hour away. I'm going to go check that everything is ready in the garden." When Kate left, Elizabeth went to her daughter and hugged her gently. "Are you sure you're okay? You seem tense today. It's just pre-wedding excitement, Mom," Anna assured her. "I really need some air." Anna left the room and headed for the garden. The morning air was fresh and filled with the scent of roses. She noticed the bustle of the workers putting the finishing touches on the decorations. The guests had already begun to arrive, and their voices were coming from the other side of the garden. As she passed an old oak tree, she heard muffled voices. Something in their tone made her stop. They were coming from behind a large trunk where a cozy gazebo was located. "We can't go on like this," a familiar female voice said. "This is not right. It's her wedding day. I know, but I can't stop thinking about you." A man's voice replied, making Anna's insides chill. Anna cautiously peeked out from behind a tree and froze. There in the shade of the gazebo stood John and Kate, her fiancé and best friend. They stood so close to each other that you couldn't put a piece of paper between them. "After the wedding, it has to end," Kate whispered, but her arms were already wrapped around John's neck. "We can't go on deceiving her. I can't," he replied, pulling her even closer. "You know I can't. What we have, it's real." "What about Anna?" Kate asked, but she didn't sound genuinely concerned. "She's my best friend. We'll figure something out," John whispered before kissing her. Anna felt nauseous. Her blood was pounding in her ears, and her heart felt like it was going to jump out of her chest. She wanted to scream, to make a scene, but something stopped her. Maybe it was shock, or maybe it was her natural pride. She stepped back quietly, trying not to give away her presence. Her mind was racing. How long had this been going on? How long had they been lying to her? All those nights, Kate had stayed late to help her with the wedding preparations. All the times John had said he was working late. All their strange looks and accidental meetings. When Anna returned to the bridal chamber, she closed the door and leaned back against it. Her hands were shaking, but her face remained unmoved. In the mirror, she saw her reflection, pale but determined. She walked over to the dressing table and took a glass of water, trying to calm the trembling in her hands. "Honey, are you okay?" Elizabeth asked, noticing her daughter's condition. "You look so pale." "I'm fine, Mom," Anna replied, sounding surprisingly calm. "I just need a minute to collect my thoughts." 10 minutes later, Kate returned, happy and excited, as if nothing had happened. Her cheeks were slightly flushed, and her lips were swollen from kissing. "Well, are you ready?" she asked, adjusting her dress. Everyone was already gathered. "John is waiting at the altar." Anna slowly turned to her. A slight smile appeared on her face. "Yes, I'm ready. More than ready." "Are you okay?" Kate asked worriedly, coming closer. "You seem strange. Everything is fine," Anna answered, and a strange sparkle appeared in her eyes. "I just suddenly realized that this is going to be a special day. A day that will change our lives forever." Kate breathed a sigh of relief and hugged her friend. "Of course, dear. It's your wedding, the happiest day of your life." "Oh yes," Anna thought. "It will be a special day, but not the kind you expect." When the wedding march started, Anna walked down the aisle hand in hand with her father. Her steps were confident, her head held high. She could see John smiling nervously, Kate standing among the bridesmaids, clutching her bouquet so tightly that her knuckles turned white. The guests sighed in admiration as they watched the bride. No one noticed how her look changed as she approached the altar. There was a fire in her eyes, but it was not the fire of love. "You look amazing," John whispered as she stood next to him. "You have no idea how much," Anna replied so quietly that no one but him could hear. The priest began the ceremony, and Anna thought about how quickly her life could change. An hour ago she was a happy bride, and now she was a woman with a plan. "Did you want to play?" Anna thought, as she recited her wedding vows with a flawless smile on her face. "Then let's play, but by my rules, and believe me, you will regret this day." The wedding reception was in full swing. Anna sat at the head table, watching the guests with a happy bride's mask on her face. She automatically responded to congratulations, raised her glass to toasts, and even managed to dance the first dance with John without giving away her true state. "You're so silent tonight, my love," John whispered during the dance, holding her close. Anna looked into his eyes and smiled. "I'm just tired of worrying. You know how long I've been waiting for this day. And how long you and Kate have been planning to ruin it," she added mentally. When the music stopped, Kate approached them with a glass of champagne. "Can I steal the bride for a minute? We need to fix our makeup." "Of course," John replied, and Anna noticed his arm linger for a moment around Kate's waist. In the ladies' room, Kate pulled out her lipstick and began to put on her lips. "God, what a wonderful wedding! Everything is just perfect. You and John look so happy together." Anna watched her friend in the mirror. How easily she lied when she looked into her eyes. How many times had they sat together like this, and Kate had pretended to support her? "You know," Anna said slowly, "I always thought that true friendship was something sacred." Kate froze for a moment, but quickly composed herself. "Of course, dear. Our friendship is very important to me." "Really?" Anna turned to her. "And what is more important to you, friendship or love? What do you mean?" Kate laughed nervously, but her hands trembled slightly. "Nothing in particular," Anna shrugged. "Just a philosophical question. You often think about these things on your wedding day." Back in the hall, Anna began to observe John and Kate's behavior more closely. Now that she knew the truth, their accidental touches and glances seemed so obvious. How could she have been so blind? Later in the evening, when most of the guests had left, Anna sat in the corner of the room, flipping through the greeting cards. Her eyes rested on one of them, from Kate. "I wish you endless happiness and eternal love." Anna smiled bitterly and put the card away. "Honey, have you seen my phone?" John asked, coming over to her. "I think I left it somewhere here." "No," Anna answered, watching him look around nervously. "Why do you need it so urgently?" "No, it's just—" He stumbled. "I wanted to check for messages from clients." "From the clients or from Kate?" Anna thought, but said out loud. "Look in your jacket. You often forget it there." When John left, her father, William Westbrook, sat down with Anna. "You don't seem the same today, daughter. Has something happened to you?" Anna looked at her father. He had always been perceptive. After her mother died 10 years ago, they became especially close. "Dad," she asked quietly, "how did you know that Mom was the one?" William looked at his daughter thoughtfully. "You know, life is not so simple. Sometimes people make mistakes, make wrong choices. The main thing is to be able to make the right decision when you realize your mistake." "Oh, I'll make a decision," Anna thought, as she watched John return with his phone in hand. Late in the evening, when she and John were finally alone in the hotel room, Anna began to develop her plan. She knew John was having financial problems. He tried to hide it from her, but she was too smart not to notice. And Kate had always envied her success, her position in society. "What are you thinking about?" John asked, hugging her from behind. Anna resisted the urge to pull away. "I'm thinking about our future, about the changes that await us." "What kind of changes?" he asked cautiously. "Oh, different ones," she smiled mysteriously. "You know, I'm thinking of investing in a new business. Maybe you'd like to join me?" John visibly perked up. "Really? What kind of business? I'll tell you later," Anna replied. "Right now I just want to enjoy our wedding night." Lying in the darkness next to the man who had become her lawful husband a few hours earlier, Anna was beginning to see the whole picture clearly. She remembered how Kate always showed up at important meetings, by accident, how she often asked about Anna's financial affairs, how she insisted on telling her to trust John in everything. "Did you think I was weak?" Anna thought as she turned to her side. "That I would cry and throw a tantrum when I found out the truth? Oh no, I will do something better. I will make you regret every moment of your betrayal." A plan began to take shape in her mind. She would use all her connections, all her resources. She knew the weaknesses of both John and Kate, and she was going to use them as effectively as possible. "John," she whispered in the darkness. "Hmm?" he responded sleepily. "I'm so glad we're together now. Forever." She felt him tense and smiled in the darkness. The game was on. The honeymoon in the Maldives was supposed to be a paradise, but for Anna, every minute turned into a detailed study of her beloved husband. She watched his every move, every call, every message. John was careless, too confident in his impunity. "Is it work-related again?" Anna asked innocently when John once again moved away from the pool with his phone. "Yes, a client from New York," he replied, smiling nervously. "An important project." "Bullshit," Anna thought as she saw him quickly delete the message. She had already seen the sender's name on the screen, Kate. That night, while John was taking a shower, Anna picked up his phone. She knew the password the day of their first date. How ironic. There was nothing in the deleted messages, but she found what she was looking for in the email. Correspondence with the bank about overdue loan payments. "John, darling," she called as he came out of the bathroom. "I've been thinking, maybe we should combine our finances. We are family now, after all." He paused for a moment. "Are you sure? This is a serious step." "Of course," Anna smiled. "I trust you completely. Besides, my financial advisor says it will help optimize my taxes." John came over and hugged her. "You're the best wife anyone could ask for." "Oh, yes," Anna thought. "I will be the best, the one you'll never forget." Upon returning to New York, Anna immediately set to work. The first thing she did was to arrange a chance meeting with Kate at their favorite cafe. "Oh my God, it's so good to see you," Kate exclaimed, hugging her friend. "Tell me, how was your honeymoon?" "It was wonderful," Anna replied. "But I'd like to hear more about your life. How's work?" Kate sighed. "Honestly, not so good. I think they're going to make me redundant." "What?" Anna made a worried face. "Why didn't you tell me earlier? I didn't want to spoil your wedding." Kate nervously twirled her cup. "And anyway, things have been a little bit off between us lately." "Nonsense," Anna interrupted her. "You're my best friend. You know what? I know a guy at Goldman Media. I can put in a good word for you." Kate's eyes lit up. "Really? That would be amazing." "Of course," Anna patted her hand. "What else are friends for?" That evening, Anna sat in her home office, reviewing documents. She had already contacted her lawyer and learned all about John's debt obligations. The amount was staggering, almost $300,000. "What are you doing?" John asked, looking into the office. "I'm looking at some investment opportunities," she replied, closing her laptop. "By the way, I talked to the bank about merging my accounts. They're asking for full financial histories from both of us." She noticed him tense up. "Maybe we shouldn't rush into this?" "Why?" Anna asked innocently. "Are you hiding something from me?" "No, of course not," he answered quickly. "It's just that maybe we should talk to a financial advisor first?" "Of course, dear," Anna agreed. "By the way, I saw Kate today. Can you believe she's about to get fired?" John flinched slightly. Really? She didn't say anything. To you? Why would she say anything to you? Anna looked at her husband intently. Well, it's just, we're all friends, he blurted out. Yes, of course. Anna stood up and walked over to him. You know, I was thinking of offering her a job at Goldman Media. What do you think? It's a good idea, John replied, but his eyes flashed with unease. Later, lying in bed, Anna checked her phone. She had installed a special program that sent her copies of all messages from John's phone. A new message from Kate appeared almost immediately. I can't believe it! Anna is offering me a job. What should we do? John's response came a few minutes later. Accept the offer. It will be less suspicious. See you tomorrow for lunch? Anna smiled. Everything was going according to plan. She got up and walked to the window, looking out at Manhattan at night. In the reflection, she saw John sleeping peacefully, unaware that his wife was weaving a web around him. You have chosen this path, Anna thought. Now get ready to reap the rewards of your decisions. The next day, she had a meeting with her lawyer. The documents were ready. All she had to do was get John to sign them. And then the real game would begin. Goldman Media's office was striking in its luxury. Huge glass windows offered panoramic views of Manhattan, and the marble floors sparkled under the light of crystal chandeliers. Anna sat at a massive mahogany desk, watching Kate nervously crumple her resume in her hands. I don't even know how to thank you, Kate said, looking around the office. This is just an incredible opportunity. Anna smiled softly. Don't thank me. You know I'm always ready to help people close to me. At that moment, Michael Goldman, the owner of a media holding company and a longtime friend of the Westbrook family, entered the office. Anna, my dear, he hugged her warmly. I'm glad to see you. And this must be the same Kate you were telling me about? Yes, Anna nodded. Kate is an extremely talented advertising specialist. I'm sure she'll be a valuable addition to your team. Michael looked at Kate carefully. Well, Anna is rarely wrong about people. If she's vouched for you, that's good enough. When can you start working? Tomorrow, Kate said, not hiding her joy. Great, Michael smiled. Then tomorrow at 9 o'clock, I'll see you in the marketing department. Anna, will you stay for lunch? I'm sorry, I can't, she replied. I have a meeting with investors, but Kate can join you. When Michael left, Kate threw her arms around Anna. I can't believe it. This is the most prestigious media company in town. Yes, Anna agreed. And the salary here is appropriate. I think it will help solve your financial problems. Kate suddenly tensed. What problems? Oh, I just noticed that lately you've been refusing to go shopping with me, Anna said innocently. And that Cartier bracelet you bought last month? Is it real? Kate turned pale. Of course it is. I just... Don't worry, Anna interrupted. Everyone gets into difficult situations sometimes. The important thing is to have reliable friends, right? That evening, Anna was sitting in her favorite restaurant waiting for John. She already knew he would be late. His phone showed that he was at the hotel with Kate. Enjoy the last moments, she thought as she sipped her martini. John showed up 40 minutes later, flushed and excited. Sorry I'm late, darling. Terrible traffic. It's okay, Anna smiled. I was just talking to Michael Goldman. Kate got the job, really? John tried to sound interested. That's wonderful. Yes, Anna agreed. By the way, she starts tomorrow. Can you imagine the responsibility? Working with such big clients, running multi-million-dollar advertising campaigns? She noticed John's face grow wary. Multi-million-dollar? Of course, Anna nodded. That's why I insisted that Michael take her. You know, when you vouch for someone, it's a big responsibility. John sipped his wine. Are you sure Kate will be okay? Anna looked at her husband intently. Is there something you know that I should know about? No, it's a very serious position. Later that evening, Anna intercepted a message between John and Kate. Are you sure you can handle this kind of responsibility? If something goes wrong, Anna will suffer professionally. Don't worry, everything will be fine. I can't turn down this opportunity. Anna smiled with satisfaction. The first part of the plan had worked perfectly. Now Kate was trapped between her ambition and her fear of letting her best friend down. The following week, Anna organized a dinner with members of the Goldman Media Board of Directors. Kate was also invited. "How was your first week?" Anna asked when they were alone in the ladies' room. "Honestly, it's harder than I thought," Kate admitted. "The budgets are so huge, the responsibility." "Don't worry," Anna put her hand on her shoulder. "I'm always here for you. By the way, Michael told me he wants to entrust you with a new campaign for Luxury Motors." Kate paled. "Luxury Motors? But that's the company's biggest client." "Yes," Anna nodded. "And I personally recommended you for this project. You won't let me down, will you?" Kate's eyes flashed with fear. "Of course not. I'll do my best." "I know," Anna smiled. "Because we're best friends, right? And best friends never betray each other." She saw Kate flinch at these words. Let her suffer, Anna thought. This is just the beginning. When Anna returned home, she found John at his computer, browsing real estate websites. "Are you planning to buy something?" she asked innocently. "No, I'm just looking," he quickly replied. "How was dinner?" "It was great." Anna sat down next to him. "Kate got the Luxury Motors project. Can you imagine?" John turned to her abruptly. "What? But that's a huge responsibility?" Anna finished for him. "Anna, yes, it is. But I'm sure she'll manage, if, of course, nothing distracts her from her work." She looked intently at her husband, and he looked away. The plan was working flawlessly. Soon the pressure would become unbearable for both of them. It's time to start the second stage, Anna thought as she prepared for bed. There was still a long game ahead. On the table in front of Anna was an envelope from a bank. She already knew its contents, a copy of the latest late payment notice on John's loan. The debt had reached a critical point, and the bank was threatening legal action. "John, we need to talk," she said when her husband returned from work. He looked tired and stressed. "What is it, darling? This came today." Anna held out the envelope. "Why didn't you tell me about the debt?" John froze, looking at the letter. "How? Where did you get this? What does it matter?" Anna came closer. "What matters is that you kept it from me. $300,000, John. How did you do that?" I wanted to figure it out myself." He sank into the chair. "I didn't want to bother you." Anna sat down across from him. "We are a family. You don't keep things like this from your family." "I know," he whispered. "I'm sorry. I'll explain everything." "You don't need an explanation," Anna interrupted him. "We need a solution, and I have it." John looked up at her. "What solution?" "My Uncle Robert died a month ago," Anna began. "He left me a considerable amount of money as an inheritance. I can help you pay off your debts." You're serious?" His eyes looked hopeful. "Of course," Anna smiled. "But there is one condition. I need guarantees, any kind you want." John quickly replied. "Okay." Anna stood up and took a folder out of the drawer. "Here are the documents on the transfer of your share in the architectural firm as collateral for the loan. It's just a formality." John took the documents and began to read. "But it says here that in the event of a divorce, all property—" "Are you planning to divorce me?" Anna interrupted him, looking him in the eye. "No, of course not," he answered hastily. "It's just what?" Her voice turned icy. "Do you have any reason not to trust me?" John lowered his eyes. "No, of course not." He signed all the documents that evening. Anna sent them to her lawyer and then checked her phone. As she expected, there was a message for Kate. "She knows about the debts. She offered to help, but the conditions. I don't know what to do." The answer came almost immediately. "Oh my God, that's terrible, but you have to accept. We have no choice." Anna smiled with satisfaction. She knew that Kate was in a difficult position as well. The Luxury Motors project was more complicated than she had expected. The next day, Anna met with Michael Goldman for lunch. "How is our new employee doing?" Michael shook his head. "Honestly, I'm not sure she's up to the task. She's already made some serious mistakes in her presentations." "Give her time," Anna said gently. I'm sure she'll come through. Only for your sake, Michael sighed. But if she fails the Luxury Motors presentation, she won't, Anna assured him. I will personally see to it. She invited Kate to dinner that evening. How are things at your new job? Everything is fine, Kate answered hesitantly. It's just hard sometimes. I know. Anna put her hand on her shoulder. Michael said there were some problems with the presentations? Kate paled. He complained about me, Anna reassured her. He just mentioned it in passing. Listen, maybe you should try to focus less on your personal life. What do you mean? Kate tensed. Nothing in particular, Anna shrugged. I just noticed that you often disappear during lunch breaks. Fear flashed through Kate's eyes. I just... Don't make excuses, Anna interrupted. Your personal life is your business. The main thing is not to let me down with the Luxury Motors project. You do realize that my reputation is also on the line, right? Of course, Kate whispered. I won't let you down. When Anna returned home, she found John on the phone. When he saw her, he quickly ended the conversation. Who was that? She asked. Oh, just a client, he answered, avoiding her gaze. Really? Anna came closer. I thought I heard the name Kate. John flinched. No, you were mistaken. Probably, Anna agreed. By the way, tomorrow we have to go to the bank. We'll need to draw up the documents to transfer money to pay off your debt. Yes, of course, he mumbled. Lying in bed at night, Anna looked through the latest messages between her lovers. We have to be careful. She suspects something. I know, but I can't go on like this. This job is killing me. Be patient. It will all work out soon. Oh no, Anna thought with a smile. Nothing will get better. This is just the beginning of your downfall. The plan worked perfectly. John was trapped financially. Kate was trapped professionally. All that remained was to tighten the noose. I wonder, Anna thought as she fell asleep, which one of them will break first? The presentation for Luxury Motors was approaching, and Kate looked more and more exhausted. Anna watched her through the glass walls of the Goldman Media conference room, where her former best friend was once again reworking the slides. Do you need any help? Anna asked as she entered the room. Kate flinched in surprise. Anna, I didn't hear you come in. I see you're very focused. Anna sat down next to her. Will you show me what you've already done? Kate nervously clicked the mouse. It's still a rough draft. I plan to redo everything. There are 3 days left before the presentation, Anna gently reminded her. Are you sure you'll make it? Of course. I'm working on it. Kate's voice trembled. I just want everything to be perfect. Anna looked at the slides and shook her head. You know, to be honest, this isn't exactly what Luxury Motors expects. They like a more refined approach. What do you mean? Kate turned pale. Let me show you. Anna picked up the mouse and began to make changes. See? This is how it will be better. An hour later, the presentation really looked much more professional. Kate looked at the screen with a mixture of gratitude and humiliation. Thank you. I would never have thought of this approach on my own. That's what friends are for. Anna smiled. By the way, you've been a little distracted lately. Is everything okay? Kate looked away. Yes, I'm just a little tired. Are you sure? Anna looked at her intently. You know, if something is keeping you from focusing on your work, or someone... No, everything's fine, Kate replied hastily. That same evening, Anna organized a dinner with the management of Luxury Motors. Kate was to present a preliminary version of the campaign. Remember, Anna said before she started, this is your chance. Don't let me down. The presentation went well, thanks in large part to Anna's edits. After dinner, Kate looked exhausted. I don't even know how to thank you. I couldn't have done it without you. It's nothing, Anna waved it off. The main thing is to remember who your true friend is. When Anna returned home, she found John on the phone. You have to pull yourself together. No, I can't meet you right now. Yes, I understand, but... Seeing his wife, he quickly ended the conversation. Is there a problem? Anna asked innocently. No, just work issues, he mumbled. Interesting. Anna poured herself some wine. I thought I heard Kate's voice. She's so nervous today. John tensed. Really? I didn't notice. Of course, you weren't at the presentation. Anna sipped her wine. Although, it's strange that you weren't at the Goldman Media office. You're usually there a lot lately. I had meetings elsewhere, he answered quickly. I see, Anna nodded. By the way, I've appointed Kate as my personal assistant on the Luxury Motors project. She will now report directly to me. She noticed how John paled. Every day? Yes, Anna smiled. That's great, isn't it? We'll be able to spend more time together. It'll be like old times. The next day, Kate came to the first morning meeting. Anna was already waiting for her with a pile of documents. Good morning. Are you ready to work? Yes, of course. Kate tried to hide her fatigue. What do you need to do? Oh, a lot of things. Anna began to spread out the papers. I need a full audit of all previous Luxury Motors advertising campaigns. And also, an hour later, Kate looked stunned. All this by tomorrow? What's the problem? Anna asked innocently. You can stay late, right? Or do you have any plans? No, I don't have any plans, Kate replied hastily. Later, Anna intercepted a message between the lovers. I can't meet today. Anna has overwhelmed me with work. Again? That's the third time this week. I know, but I can't refuse. She has me hooked. Anna smiled with satisfaction. The plan was working perfectly. Kate was becoming more and more dependent on her professionally, and John was getting nervous about not being able to see his mistress. In the evening, she called Michael Goldman. How did you like Kate's presentation today? If it weren't for your edits, it would have been a complete failure, he replied. Are you sure she's up to the task? Give her a little more time, Anna said. I will personally monitor her work. Going to bed, Anna thought about how skillfully she tightened the noose around her victims. Kate was completely dependent on her at work, and John didn't even realize that the documents he signed gave her full control over his property. Soon, she thought, very soon, they will realize the true cost of their betrayal. A social gathering at the Ritz-Carlton brought together all of New York's high society. Anna stood by the window, elegant in a navy blue Versace dress, and chatted sweetly with David Blackwood, a successful financier and longtime family friend. She knew that John was watching them from across the room. You look particularly lovely tonight, David said, handing her a glass of champagne. Anna smiled playfully. Thank you, David. You always knew how to give compliments, and you always knew how to accept them. He leaned closer. Do you remember our last dance at the charity ball? How could I forget? Anna touched his hand lightly. You were the only one who led the waltz correctly. Out of the corner of her eye, she saw John tense up. He'd always been jealous of her and David, ever since they'd met. Shall we do it again? David held out his hand to her. The orchestra was just starting to play something slow. I'd love to. Anna accepted the invitation, feeling her husband's gaze burning down her back. They whirled in a dance, and Anna allowed herself a little more intimacy than usual. David was the perfect partner for her planned successful, attractive, and, most importantly, John's longtime business rival. I heard you're working on the Luxury Motors project? David asked. Yes, Anna replied. By the way, we need a reliable financial advisor. Would you be interested? Anything for you? He smiled that special smile that always irritated John. After the dance, Anna turned to her husband. Are you okay, dear? You seem tense. What was that? He said through gritted teeth. What do you mean? She asked innocently. Just dancing with an old friend. A friend? John raised a skeptical eyebrow. He clearly wants more than that. Anna laughed. Are you jealous? That's so sweet. I'm not jealous, he grumbled. I just don't like my wife being groped in front of everyone. Oh, so now you're worried about propriety? She said, sounding slightly ironic. John tensed up even more. What do you mean? Nothing. Anna shrugged her shoulders. By the way, David has offered to help with the Luxury Motors project. I think it's a great opportunity for the company. You know I don't trust him, John said. Really? Anna raised an eyebrow. And I thought that in business, professionalism was the most important thing, not personal sympathies. The next day, Anna organized a business meeting with David at a restaurant. She knew that John would know about it. She deliberately left the invitation in a prominent place. "You came home late last night," John said over breakfast. "Yes, the meeting with David ran late," Anna replied. "He has some great ideas for the project." "And only about the project?" John couldn't resist. Anna looked at him intently. "What else are you interested in?" At that moment, her phone rang. It was David. Anna deliberately answered it so that John could hear the conversation. "Yes, David. Of course I remembered about tonight's dinner. Yes, at 8 o'clock, and I'm looking forward to it." She noticed how John's knuckles turned white as he clutched his coffee cup. Later that day, Anna intercepted a message from John to Kate. "She keeps seeing Blackwood. Something's not right." "Maybe it's just business?" "You don't know Blackwood. He's always wanted everything that belongs to me." Anna smiled with satisfaction. Doubts began to eat away at John from the inside, which was exactly what she wanted. In the evening, she put on a particularly elegant dress. "I'll be late. Don't wait for me." "Another meeting with Blackwood?" John asked, trying to hide his irritation. "Yes," Anna adjusted her earring. "He wants to discuss some investment opportunities." "Does it have to be over dinner?" John demanded. "What's bothering you?" Anna turned to him. "You're busy with your work meetings." She saw him flinch at the words. Over the next few weeks, Anna methodically stirred up John's jealousy. She met with David more often, allowed him to show signs of attention, and posted photos of them together on social media. At the same time, she kept Kate under constant pressure at work, preventing her from meeting with John. The tension between the lovers grew. They increasingly quarreled in messages. "You have no time for me at all." "What can I do? Anna is constantly overwhelming me with work." "Maybe you're just using that as an excuse?" Anna watched as her plans slowly, but inevitably destroyed their relationship. John was becoming increasingly paranoid about her meetings with David, and Kate was increasingly afraid of losing her job. Soon, Anna thought, preparing for another dinner with David, very soon they will realize what real betrayal means. A rainy morning brought John unpleasant news. Anna watched as he nervously reviewed the letters from the bank over breakfast, his face growing increasingly pale. "Is something wrong, dear?" she asked innocently, stirring the coffee. He stumbled. "It seems there are some problems with the inheritance from your uncle." Anna slowly put the cup down. "What kind of problems?" "The bank says that the funds are frozen because of some legal formalities." John wiped the sweat from his brow. "And the loan repayment deadline." Anna finished for him. "What are you going to do? Maybe you could—" He looked at her hopefully. "Borrow from your own money? Temporarily?" Anna shook her head. "Unfortunately, all of my assets are currently invested in the luxury motors project. You know how important it is for the company, but the bank can take away my share in the bureau." He sounded panicked. "What a shame," Anna sighed. "Especially now that you have a big project coming up, right?" John looked at her in surprise. "How do you know about the project?" "Oh, David mentioned it," she said casually. "You know, he's very interested in real estate." In the evening of the same day, Anna intercepted a conversation between John and Kate. "Everything is gone. The bank is demanding immediate repayment." "Maybe you should try to get a new loan?" "For what? All my property is already pledged to Anna." "Oh God, what to do?" The next day, Anna organized a meeting with the bank's management. She knew John would be there. It was his last hope. "Mrs. Westbrook," the bank director greeted her, "we have reviewed your proposal to restructure your husband's debt. And?" Anna looked at John, who was sitting in the corner, crouching. "Unfortunately, we cannot accept such terms," the director shrugged. "The debt is too large, and the collateral—" "Not enough," Anna finished. "I understand." "Well then, I guess we'll have to follow the standard procedure? Anna!" John jumped to his feet. "You can't—" "Me?" She raised an eyebrow. "It's your debt, dear. I was just trying to help." Back at home, John looked devastated. "What am I going to do? I'm going to lose everything." "Not everything. Anna said gently. You still have me. She took a folder out of her purse. Here, I have prepared new documents. If you give me full control of the bureau, I can save the situation. But that means I'll lose my business. It's better to lose some control than all of it, Anna said reasonably. Besides, you trust me, don't you? John gave her a long look. Do I have a choice? You always have a choice. Anna put the pen down in front of him. Some choices are just better than others. Later, she sent a message to David. Everything went according to plan. The documents are signed. You're a genius, he replied. Now his office is practically yours. Ours, she corrected. Just like we agreed. In the evening, Anna found John talking to Kate. Problems at work? She asked. No, yes. He was confused. He was just consulting on a project. With the PR manager? Anna raised a skeptical eyebrow. An interesting approach. She knew her words had hit the mark. John looked even more depressed. Not only had he lost his business, but he was now forced to lie about his relationship with Kate. Later, Anna checked their correspondence. She took everything. I'm completely in her hands. Maybe we should? No. If she finds out, we'll both lose everything. Anna smiled with satisfaction. The plan was working perfectly. John was financially ruined and completely dependent on her. Kate was afraid of losing her job and reputation, and there were many more surprises ahead. It's time, Anna thought, to move on to the final stage of the plan. The annual Goldman Media Charity Ball was one of the most important events in the New York social calendar. This year, it was held at the luxurious Plaza Hotel, and the entire city's elite attended. Anna specifically chose this evening for the final part of her plan. You're just glowing tonight, Michael Goldman said as he met her in the lobby. And where is our dear John? Oh, he'll be joining us later, Anna smiled. He had some urgent business to attend to. She knew exactly where John was, in his office, trying to save the remnants of his business. After signing the documents, his situation became catastrophic. Kate was already at the ball, smiling nervously at the guests. Tonight, she was to present the results of the Luxury Motors campaign to the entire board of directors. Are you ready for the big presentation? Anna asked as she approached her. Yes, of course. Kate tried to look confident. I've checked everything several times. That's great. Anna put her hand on her shoulder. You know, I'm so proud of you. You've become like a sister to me. She saw Kate flinch at these words. The presentation began at 9 o'clock sharp. Kate walked confidently on stage, but Anna knew that her confidence would soon be shattered. Ladies and gentlemen, Kate began, today I have the honor to present to you. And then, instead of a presentation, correspondence appeared on the big screen. Personal messages between Kate and John, all their conversations, declarations of love, plans for secret meetings. Kate froze, staring at the screen. The room fell silent. What is it? She whispered. Anna slowly got up from her seat. Oh, this? It's just a little demonstration of how my best friend and my husband planned their meetings behind my back. Anna, I can explain. Kate took a step toward her, but stumbled on her heels. Really? Anna raised an eyebrow. And what exactly can you explain? How you slept with my husband on my wedding day? Or how you used my trust to get this job? Shocked gasps were heard in the room. Michael Goldman stood up from his seat. Is this true? Kate looked around for support, but saw only judgmental looks. Oh, that's not all, Anna continued, pressing a button on the remote. Documents appeared on the screen. Here's proof of how Miss Montgomery used the company's confidential information for personal gain. That's not true, Kate exclaimed. I never— True or not, Michael interrupted her. Your behavior is unacceptable for our company. You are fired. Kate staggered back as if from a blow. Anna, please. We were friends. We were, Anna replied coldly. By the way, I have already informed all the leading advertising agencies in the city about your professional ethics. At that moment, John burst into the room. What's going on here? I received strange messages. He froze when he saw the screen with his correspondence. Oh dear. Anna turned to him with an icy smile. So good of you to join us, just in time for the final part of the evening. You knew everything? he whispered. From the very beginning, Anna nodded. From the very moment at the wedding. And you know what? I'm grateful to both of you. Grateful? Kate looked at her with tears in her eyes. Yes. Anna looked around the room. Thanks to your betrayal, I have gained full control of John's architectural firm, which will now merge with David Blackwood's company. I also got rid of my false friends and unfaithful husband. She approached David, who was standing by the window. By the way, dear guests, I would like to take this opportunity to announce my engagement to Mr. Blackwood. The room fell silent again. John looked at Anna as if he were seeing her for the first time. You planned all this? Anna smiled. You planned it all. I just seized the moment. Kate ran out of the room sobbing. John remained standing, helplessly lowering his arms. And now, Anna raised a glass of champagne, I propose to drink to honesty in relationships and a fair retribution. Later that evening, as the guests left to discuss the scandal, Anna stood by the window with David. You were amazing, he said, hugging her. I just gave them what they deserved, she replied. To each his own. Outside the window, it began to rain, washing away all traces of her past life. Anna looked at the drops running down the glass and thought that sometimes the best revenge is simply to let people destroy themselves. A month passed after the scandalous charity ball. Anna was sitting in her new office on the 35th floor of a skyscraper in Manhattan, looking over the divorce papers. Her lawyer had done a great job. John was left with nothing but his personal belongings. Miss Westbrook, the secretary, peeked into the office. Mr. Henderson is waiting in the waiting room. Tell him to wait another 15 minutes, Anna replied, without looking up from her papers. She knew John would come begging for mercy. After the public scandal, his reputation was destroyed. Clients were canceling contracts in droves, and banks were refusing to lend him money. When he finally entered the office, Anna barely recognized her ex-husband. Instead of the confident architect, she saw a tired, aged man. Anna, please, he began. You can't do this to me. Me? She raised an eyebrow. It seems that you did something irreparable to me. On our wedding day, if you remember. It was a mistake. He took a step forward. I'm sorry, I'm really sorry. Anna slowly got up from the table. You know what's interesting? I'm sorry, too. I wish I had done it sooner. She went to the window, looking at the panorama of the city. How is Kate? Did you hear she left town? John lowered his head. I don't know. We don't talk. Anna smiled ironically. A great love could not stand the test of poverty? You don't understand. No, it was you who didn't understand. Anna interrupted him. You didn't realize that I'm not the kind of woman you can betray with impunity. She took a folder out of her desk drawer. Here, sign this. These are the final documents on the transfer of all rights to the Bureau. But this is all I have. He sounded desperate. It was, Anna corrected him. Now it's mine. And you know what? I'm merging it with David's company. Ironic, isn't it? John signed the documents with a trembling hand. After he left, Anna dialed David's number. It's done. The Bureau is officially ours. You're amazing, he replied. Shall we have dinner tonight? Of course, she smiled. We have something to celebrate. After work, Anna went to her favorite spa. Lying on the massage table, she checked the news on her phone. An article about Kate caught her attention. Her former friend had gotten a job at a small advertising agency in Phoenix. How far you've come, Anna thought with satisfaction. In the evening, sitting with David in a rooftop restaurant, she told him about her meeting with John. You should have seen his face when he signed the documents. Aren't you being too cruel? David asked, but his eyes were shining with admiration. Cruel? Anna sipped her wine. I just gave them what they deserved. Do you know what's most interesting? They destroyed themselves. I just created the conditions. And now? He took her hand. What are your plans? Anna looked out at the city below. Now? Now I'm free. For the first time in a long time, I am truly free. The next day, the newspapers published the news of the merger of Henderson's architectural firm with Blackwood's. Anna became the chairman of the board of directors of the merged company. In the evening, she sat in her penthouse looking through old photographs. In one of them, the three of them, She, John, and Kate were smiling happily at a party. "Who would have thought?" Anna whispered as she tossed the photo into the fireplace. "Who would have thought?" The flames consumed the paper, erasing the smiles and memories. Anna went to the window and raised her glass. To a new life. And to the fact that everyone gets what they deserve. A message from David appeared on her phone. "Big presentation tomorrow. Are you ready to show everyone who's boss in town?" Anna smiled and answered, "More than ready. It's time to start a new chapter." She looked once again at the city sparkling with lights. It was her city now, her rules, her game, and she had won it brilliantly. Sometimes, Anna thought, the best revenge is success, and to show those who tried to destroy you that they only made you stronger. That's how the story of betrayal and revenge ended, a story in which everyone got what they deserved, and a new story began, the story of a woman who was not afraid to take her life into her own hands and show everyone that it is better not to mess with her.